Joseph, you're up next.
All right, so this was from it's like an online home game where it's pretty deep.
Okay.
So the blinds are 2.55, 10 with a $1 ante to every player.
So 2.5510, three
Yeah,
blinds with an ante.
yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
It's
Yeah.
nine-handed,
Okay.
and so most of the people had like five of the people at the table had like over five grand.
Okay.
We had 3.7K, and then the other three people had like 1,000.
Okay.
So we have 3750 to start the hand,
Okay.
and the villain in the hand has us covered. Has like 5.5K.
Okay.
We open nine of clubs, nine of spades to $35 under the gun, which was pretty standard sizing. And we get raised from the low jack to 115.
Low jack three
And,
bets to 115. Okay. Uh-huh.
and it folds around to us, and we call.
So your head's up.
Yeah.
Okay. So the pot's probably like maybe 240, 250, something like that.
Yeah, 255 or 256. I have it here.
Okay.
So flop comes out three of spades, six of spades, jack of hearts.
Three of spades, six of spades, jack of hearts, and you have 9-9. Did you say the suits? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the nine of clubs and the nine of spades. So we have the spade.
Clubs, nine of clubs. Okay, so you get the 9-9 with a spade, and it's jack of hearts, six of spades, three of spades. Okay.
Yep. So we check, and the villain makes it 85, and we call.
Low jack 85, hero calls, pretty standard so far. So looks like the pot's now like 420. And again, you guys had started with 3750, right? So
yeah,
fairly deep. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the turn is the nine of diamonds.
So now you turn a set. Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I check again,
Mm-hmm.
and the villain bets 320. So pretty big. And we check raise to 1,000.
Villain bets 320.
Yeah.
And hero check raises to 1,000. I mean, absolutely, you need to get money in here. I would say, and also too, it's not like it's that much of a. I mean, I don't know in this home game, but the 9 doesn't really change all that much unless you had already flopped a set or 9-9 or Jack-Jack, unless you have like some Jack-9 suited that opens and defends. I would just be trying to think of how I want to shape this pot to get most, if not all, of the money in on the river. So if you make it 1,000 here and he calls, the pot's going to be 2420, and you guys have what, about a pot size bet left, something like
Yeah,
that?
I'll have about 2,500 left. So I guess I could have gone, I guess, a little bigger, but
Right. No, I don't. I mean, I don't. I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
yeah. So he tanks for like 10 seconds and then calls, and I mean,
Okay.
I was thinking like aces, kings, queens are all gonna call. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, there's a front door spade draw out there, right? There's no
yeah,
back door. I mean, when you're in this situation where a back door appears too, and especially if someone's structuring correctly, you have to watch that as well, right? I mean, the other things that maybe once in a while he might have like a queen 10 suited type of hand that would have to, but I mean, that would have to be 3-bet off. It's just very, very unlikely.
yeah,
But there can be obviously some spade draws here too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the river comes the queen of spades, and so I didn't really know what to do here. My first thought was I was gonna jam, but then I quickly did not want to do that because I thought like I'm probably only gonna get called by better.
So you have just over a pot size bet left.
Yeah.
And you check raise turn when you turn a set in this 3-bet pot, 3-6 jack on the flop. Hero has 9-9. Check calls 85, turns a 9. Villain bets really large on the turn. He bets 3/4, and hero check raises to 1,000. And he calls. And now the river comes in the front door. So it's the queen of spades. Wow, this is a little bit of a dicey spot because I'm going to try to put myself in like your opponent's sort of your opponent's spot here. Like if your opponent's holding on with like aces or kings, remember he can have some queens too, which you lose to. Now that the front door comes in, it's really hard for him to call at the end. So I can sort of get on board with the check. It's also a very, very awkward SPR. Now, if I was up against a drooler, I might just block the river here, right? Drooler that's just never going to raise with worse. Maybe you go like 1/3 just because the guy's an idiot and he calls with, aces and kings.
Yeah, so I mean, this guy was he's pretty good. Like I mean, like he's solid. Like he knows like what he's doing. He's a winning player usually. So I mean, I went with the block bet of 800.
So you did do a block.
I did, yeah,
Hmm.
thinking that like aces and kings are gonna call,
Yeah,
but
that might be pretty optimistic. It really depends on sort of the what you think kind of he as a player. Now, if you check though, it's one of these situations where you have to evaluate sizing. It's really insane to think about check folding a set, but if he's never value betting anything else and he like makes some crazy bet, you could make a case. But I mean, you have to get called by worse here for this block to be correct.
yeah. So I mean, I was thinking like aces, kings, like maybe queen jack, although I don't think he has queen jack really.
Hmm.
Um,
Also, Jack X of spades is obviously possible too, but again, it's sort of you'd have to go down the line. Is he three betting like Jack ten of spades, King Jack of
yeah,
spades, things like that?
yeah. Well, so I make the block bet and then I get jammed on.
So you bet 800 and you've got about 17 left in your stack. So the pot's probably right around 5,000, 1,700 for you to call. That sound about right?
Yeah, roughly.
Jams, villain, jams. And you're getting maybe 3-1.
Roughly, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like I couldn't
it's a
think
shitty
like
spot. It's a shitty
in
spot. And I mean, I have seen some people turn like a hand like aces with the ace of spades here into a bluff, but it's just very, very rare, kind of to see that.
I mean this player is definitely capable of bluffing like that, but I'm thinking like I already put, 800 in. Like wouldn't he be scared that I'm going to call and just like if he's trying to bluff like ace, I don't know. I just couldn't think he's bluffing like
I mean, obviously the river is a very under bluff spot. I mean, this is not a home. I mean, it's not a live game. It's an online game, so the bluffing frequency goes up in a given scenario. I think because it's easier for people to bluff. Like I talked about that last week. There's no shame in it, but at the same time, it's definitely a difficult sort of spot. But if you were to have some hands that you don't that you have to call here with that aren't flushes, I would think that sets would be some of them. So I mean, I don't know. I don't really know the answer, to be honest with you, whether or not I would call here, getting sort of 3-1. Maybe I would just close my eyes and call, but it's got to be really close either way. I mean, I don't think I would fret over it, to be honest with you.
yeah. So I kind of I sat there for like 45 seconds and I folded
Uh huh.
and I never found out what he had, but I convinced myself he must have had like ace jack of spades.
The other thing that I would say though too, as Nate, who says in the live chat, and his hand actually is the call-in hand from today that's up on YouTube, Nate, CLP subscriber, is that if you block the river, now yours is a little bit larger than a block, like you go 1/3. The thing about blocking, especially if it's like say 1/5, sometimes people can pick up on that where they're going to raise your block. So the counter to that would be to call wider, right? So it's a little bit of a catch-22 when you're blocking because you want to get called by worse, but is somebody catching up? Is somebody sort of seeing the fact that you're blocking?
Well, so that's another thing I was thinking about. Is like this player's like definitely competent enough to like realize on block betting, and I do think like I think he's kind of crazy enough to try and bluff here, like knowing that. But like I don't know. I think that if I was concerned that if I check, like he knows I just really don't like the spade, and then he jams on me anyway.
Well, yeah, but check. I would make the contention that him raising your $800 lead is actually stronger than you checking and him jamming. Like, I would say that this is stronger than him. This is a stronger line from him, basically raising the river all in versus you check and he jams. I would be more likely to call a jam at the end if you checked and he jammed versus if he raises here. Although on the flip side, though, too, he can just take a showdown when you check. But once in a while, there's somebody that's good enough to realize that an overpair with a spade and it's probably not going to win given your line. and then when you check at the end. So I think it's, yeah, I mean, I think it's really close getting 3-1. So you never found out what he had?
I never found out. No, I asked him. He wouldn't tell me.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.